I wonder what's on the tube.
Welcome back.
Thank you for being a friend.
What you talking about, Willis?
You are a meathead.
No soup for you.
Welcome, everyone, to Technical Difficulties. Please stand by. I'm sorry. It's Sitcom my face. I'm Nick Franco.
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
I'd be good if Microsoft would learn not to update things that will screw up streaming podcasts. But anyway, so how you been doing, Jay?
I got all my money back from being robbed last 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yes, Facebook... the Facebook robber.
Yeah, whoever jacked my shit. First of all, fuck you and your mother. But I got my money back from the bank today. Thank God. I watched all of the new season of Curb Your Enthusiasm on HBO Max.
Cool.
Fucking love that show. Larry David, so flippin' funny.
Oh yeah.
Still one of the funniest shows on TV. I don't care what anybody says. And it sadly, you remember how Bob Einstein died, old Super Dave?
Yep.
And he used to be on there.
Mm-hmm.
They brought on his brother, though. They had Albert Brooks on there.
Oh.
For an episode. I was like, oh, shit.
Nice.
I got done watching all of that. I think it's the 11th season is the new one. And then I saw they have a documentary about Bob on there now.
I have to check that out.
I think it was Albert or maybe their other brother told a story about their dad, who I didn't even know was a comedian.
Oh.
His name was Harry Einstein, and he was on the radio in the 40s.
Oh, wow.
And he died on stage.
Oh, my God.
At a comedy roast for Lucy and Desi.
Now, talk about your strange coincidences there. Damn.
Not so fun fact for the week. I was like, holy shit. The poor kids said they had to find out on the radio the next day. They found out their dad died on stage. But
Holy
I guess
crap.
It sounded like he went up, he did his stuff, he killed, and he fucking fell over and died.
I was going to say, he killed, and then
killed.
it killed him. You know, there we go.
That fucking nuts.
Well, at least he went out on top there, you know.
Well, so, what did you think of this week's show, buddy?
Well, this week's show, for all that we're not aware, was Dharma and Greg.
We watched Dharma. Shit, I watched the wrong show.
Oh, no. What did you watch?
I don't know. The little kid spanking the old guy. And at the end, he gave him a lollipop.
Oh, I'm not sure exactly what you were watching there.
Shit. All right, you tell me about your show.
Okay, well, this show...
maybe it'll come back to me.
First premiered in September of 1997. Lasted for 5 seasons, ending in April of 2002. As you'll find when we actually do some of the 90s shows, yeah, this is another Chuck Lorre joint. As like Chuck Lorre's fingerprints are all over the freaking 90s and the 2000s.
In case you never heard of Chuck Lorre, 2.5 Men, Mom, Dharma and Greg, was a Big Bang Theory,
yep.
Mike and Molly.
Yeah, a whole
I think that's
crap load of shows are either produced by him, co-written by him.
I did see some earlier ones produced by him, but he wasn't on all the episodes, so I think he might have came in later, like Sybil and Grace Under Fire, stuff like that, where I think he came in maybe and took over or something.
That's quite possible, but yeah, he definitely had his fingerprints all over this and many other shows that will. As you've mentioned a crap load of them there.
Oh, we can make it easy. Here's how you can describe the show. Here's season 1 right here.
Okay, what is what is the synopsis of the show? there, JJ.
When free-spirited yoga instructor Dharma Finkelstein meets conservative attorney Greg Montgomery, it's love at first sight. Unfortunately, there's absolutely no love in the air when Dharma's hippie parents and Greg's blue-blooded establishment parents finally meet after their children have already married in a drive-through chapel in Reno. With friends and family all suggesting that a quick annulment would be best, it's no surprise that the couple begin to second-guess their impulsive nuptials, but it's soon evident that nothing can stand in the way of true love.
Except a season 6.
Yeah, I have the first 2 seasons. I don't think the others were ever released on DVD, and I remember...
That I'm not sure, but...
this one is another one of those print-on-demand titles that we talked about. Because I don't think this one sold real well.
Gotcha. Well,
and then I think they were like, fuck that, just put it on streaming. So...
Well, speaking of didn't do real well, this lasted 5 seasons, but suffered a lot in the ratings. It went up a good portion, I think, of its run against shows like Frasier and basically juggernauts like that. So yeah, it didn't do as well, as far as the Nielsen's.
Here's your purple bottom discs is your first sign of a print on demand.
Oh boy. Hey, is it rewritable?
It might be. It might be. So yeah, 97 to 02. I was pretty young yet. I would have been maybe 11 when this show started. I remember my mom really loving this show. She thought Dharma was the funniest thing in the world. I kind of found her annoying at the time, and I didn't even rewatch this show until I was a little older.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot on this show for a kid, I don't think. It's not a...
No, it's not necessarily... Not that it's not kid-friendly, but yeah, there's nothing for a kid to...
latch onto. Yeah.
Be into, like, character-wise, situation-wise. Yeah, it pretty much is all, adult. Is
this your first time watching it, really?
I had watched like 1 or 2 episodes back in the day, but it wasn't like one of those like, intensely watching. It was kind of like, it's on, okay, let me go in the other room a minute. It was not a focused watch. This time, I did focus.
I brought this one up because Mitchell Ryan, who plays Greg's dad on the show, just passed away, and I remembered it loving the parents.
Yeah.
I wish the show was about the parents.
Yeah. If anything, they should have just made a spin-off, the parents of Dharma and Greg, and just left it at that, and with occasional sporadic appearances by them or something, by Dharma and Greg, and
he's also an actor
truthfully just Dharma, because Greg was basically a prop after a while.
He's in a lot of things, that actor, but I know him mostly as Dr. Wynn in Halloween 6, one of the worst Halloween sequels.
Oh God!
But he's in there, so yeah.
And
R.I.P. Mitchell Ryan.
Yeah. And let's see, Jenna Elfman. Besides Dharma and Greg.
Elfman? Is it Elfman, right?
Elfman, sorry. Jenna, who's Elfman.
Don't bring your fucking Lord of the
Rings
porno fantasies in here, my friend.
Ah, damn it.
She's got some pointy ears I can rub my pee-pee on?
Oh, my precious. No,
but stay the fuck away from my precious.
But Jenna Elfman, what, besides this, do you know her from really anything else? Like have you watched her in many other shows?
I remember watching a lot of that movie Krippendorf's Tribe when I was a kid.
Oh my God.
I don't know why. Her and
what's his name?
From Jaws. What's his name?
And Stakeout.
The fuck's his name? I can't.
Richard Dreyfuss.
Thank you, Richard Dreyfuss. Yeah.
The way to remember him for me is, I don't know if you ever saw the Saturday Night Live. It was around, I think, what was it? It was the 25th anniversary of Star Wars, so they had the screen tests of other people trying to be the characters, and it's I think Richard Dreyfuss is C-3PO. It's like, who is it under that mask? It's me. It's Richard Dreyfuss. I don't need this. I was in Jaws. So whenever I have to remember, I just remember that sketch. It's like, yeah. Let's see. What other let's see, TV shows was Jenna Elfman? Let's see. Oh,
She had a show after this, Accidentally on Purpose or something like that.
yes, Accidentally on Purpose. It lasted 18 episodes.
Yeah.
Hey, here's the one thing that it's like I had totally forgotten that Jenna Elfman was also in. It's like, oh shit, because I kind of gave up watching the show after a while. Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah, weird.
It's like,
I watched an interview with her and I was like, what the fuck? She's on that show?
yeah,
And it was weird because, like, we talked about the dad from Raising Hope was on Fear the Walking Dead.
mm-hmm.
And the clip they showed was her and Mo Collins. Remember Mo Collins from Mad TV?
Oh my god.
And I was like, what the fuck? Is this like a zombie show full of comedians? Like, what the fuck is this? I might have to watch this because I love all three of those. I was like,
Oh
what
my
the
god.
fuck?
Now I'm remembering. Ever watch Key and Peele?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, with the zombies. It's like what was it? The zombies in a car, and they like Key and Peele come by, and the zombies start rolling out the window. It's like, oh hell no.
Fucking racist ass zombies.
Yep. But
Yeah,
anyway,
I was like, well, how the fuck? All these comedians are on fucking Fear the Walking Dead? That's so bizarre.
yeah. But I gave up after a while on Fear the Walking Dead, so
I didn't even make it to that one.
yeah,
That one wasn't even out yet, I think, when I gave up on the first Walking Dead.
yeah. Fear. I think I got through one season and a couple episodes, and that was enough.
Bill Murray's brother's in this one.
Oh,
Joel
wait.
Murray.
Oh wait, no, was he?
He's Pete.
That is Pete. Okay, yeah, and I was telling you the weird thing as far as we always talk about. Yeah, we'd take a shot at the theme song, and for me, this was not unpleasant. Very short.
Short instrumental, little
Short instrumental. It sounded like just someone noodling about on a guitar. It had some heavy reverb on. It's like and it's like, and it's over. Yeah, it's like, oh, okay. So
You said it grew on you.
yeah, it definitely grew on me to the point. It's like, okay, I'm not gonna hit skip when watching the episodes.
For an instrumental, it's not bad.
No.
I prefer, like I've said before, I prefer a little jingle or something. But
Yes, same here. But yeah, I found out that the man that did this theme song, this man wrote the theme to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles back in 1987.
a song that I have sang 1.5 billion times in my life.
Yeah, and it's a song. I wasn't a big turtle watcher, but it's just one of those. It sticks with you and will never leave.
They're the world's most fearsome fighting teams. We're really hip. We're heroes in a half shell and they're green. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Dennis C. Brown, yeah, it gave me a bit of a surprise when I was looking at his credentials there. I'm like, what? Let's see. Well, what about any of the other characters? Like, again, like I said, Greg to me was just very disposable.
Yeah. So of course you got Dharma and Greg. Dharma's like the hippie chick. Greg's the very uptight, conservative guy.
Yeah,
he's pretty
a lawyer.
bland. He's very vanilla on this show.
Oh, very. But I think it's the way his character's written.
Yeah, it's not really his fault. And you said you liked Dharma. You thought Dharma's funny. I could give a shit less really about Dharma, to be honest.
Okay.
I get it, but the show has one of the things I hate with comedy is like just saying random things is funny, and I don't think that's funny. I think it's lazy writing.
Okay. No, I get you.
The more I thought about it, though, I don't really like any of those Chuck Lorre shows, and they all kind of have that same vibe. Like, none of them really feel smart to me. Ironic, because, like, Big Bang Theory is supposed to be about smart people.
Yeah, but
watching it doesn't feel smart.
Right. I was going to say, yeah, but we'll get around to Big Bang at some point. It's like you said, it's supposed to be about smart people, but it's written from a very, it's like,
Layman.
okay, Yeah, very lazy. Okay, what's something about nerd culture? Oh, okay, this. Yeah, we got an episode.
Yeah, and so with Dharma, it's not that any of the jokes are like cleverly written. It's more like kooky. Like I'm a kooky person. Look at me.
Now you're making me remember Family Guy, where it's like, you know how like sometimes they're watching a TV show and they were watching Dharma and Greg. It's like, let's go dance on the coffee table, and all of a sudden
Right.
it's just like, okay.
Make a character that does not. Just because you do
No,
kooky things, it seems like on a comedy show, I want there to be jokes that feel smart and written.
understood.
And yeah, it's a lot of just kooky. I mean, and it's weird because I feel like it works on other characters like Larry.
Oh
Her
yeah,
father,
her father is
her father is Larry
great.
and Abby, who are the hippie parents, and I think they're very funny. He's written as dumb, but
Yep.
he actually has more joke lines.
Yeah, no, he definitely has a lot more, and it's not necessarily that he's dumb, but it's a cultural thing from like the hippie counterculture thing,
It's all
and
conspiracy theories.
all
and,
conspiracy theories, and the fact of what was it in 1972 he had like an accident, so he has no short-term memory, like he has a bad short-term memory.
mhm. And even the references, though, like he makes some pretty obscure like references where you go, oh, some research was done here
Yeah.
to make these moderately smart conspiracy jokes from God knows when, 60s, 70s.
Yep. Now, what did you think of the neighbor character, Jane? And you know her last name,
Gee, I don't remember her last name. No. What is it?
Doe.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
Jane's, I mean, she's fine. She's just kind of an extension of Dharma, just a weirder, darker version of Dharma.
Yeah, no, she's definitely like it's supposed to be like Dharma's like the light hippie goofy and that, and like Jane is kind of like the dark it's almost like goth hippie or something going on.
It was interesting. I think it was a little bit later when they get Pete and Jane together
Yep.
in a relationship.
They
They're
actually
trying
wind up
to,
marrying too. Yeah.
yeah, they're trying to mirror the Dharma and Greg relationship, only theirs is extremely toxic.
Yep.
Like, which is kind of funny because they've seen Dharma and Greg come together. Oh, we just got married randomly and it worked out so well. We love each other. So it's almost like they think they can do that.
Right.
But
and
then they just fucking hate each other, and it's constantly. That was kind of funny. That's kind of a funny dynamic.
In fact, the one episode I watched, it's like oh, like they're so happy. It's like, why? We're getting divorced.
We're getting divorced.
It's like, we're gonna have a party. Yeah, come on over.
She's like, you want to help me throw your shit out the window? He's like, yes, I do. Yeah, so that relationship was kind of funny.
Yes. But it's weird. On her own, Jane, was kind of like one-dimensional, and it's just like, oh, the crazy neighbor. But it's like, oh, okay, crazy, but there's no substance to her.
She's crazy though, in where she could show up and be like, hey, I killed a guy, and you might believe it.
Right.
Like, if she was like, Dharma, I need you to help me bury this body. It might be true. You don't know quite for sure if it's true or not.
I love the episode where Greg, like, because Dharma is like hanging out with some of his friends, his poker buddies. He decides, okay, he's gonna hang out with Jane, and Jane goes over to like one of her friends' houses, and they're gonna play this this strange game, and it's like Greg's like, I'll watch. It's like. And they're like, all of a sudden, it's like, oh, no one's ever volunteered to be the watcher before. It's like, no. I'm just gonna watch. I won't participate. It's like, okay, I'm first to lick the watcher. It's like, what? And then all of a sudden, a knock on the door, and it's freaking Dick Clark. And it's like, yeah, I don't know if you like what want to come in here. It's too crazy. It's like, oh, you must be the watcher.
We haven't really talked about Greg's parents though.
No, we haven't.
Kitty is funny, but she's like the uptight, rich, prissy,
Correct.
fun, and she does play well with the husband character because he is kind of like fed up.
Yeah, he's kind of like just like yes, dear. Yeah,
Yes,
just kind
dear.
of.
But there's like one where she leaves or something for the weekend, and he's making naked margaritas or something. And he just shaking naked, and he's like naked margarita weekend because wife is gone, that kind of shit. Oh man, you can tell she's the only one reining him in at home. Otherwise, he'd just be a fucking psychopath too.
Mm-hmm.
Which I love.
And the crazy, like, he and Larry actually kind of get along at times. They find common ground.
One's a stoner, one's a drunk.
Right. and of course, being that like the stoner and the community that Larry and Abby hang out in, it's like later on who has to be one of their friends, Tommy Chong.
Oh, of course, yeah. Who was also on Raising Hope.
Yep.
He dated Mama on an episode in the last season.
And he was also what was it? That '70s show, right?
Oh yeah, very funny on there. Someone had a line with Edward, Greg's dad. Like there's an episode or a couple episodes where Greg leaves, and they're like, "The only quality time you ever spent with Gregory was while you were drinking." He goes, "That's not true. I always prefer to drink alone." That pretty much sums up his character pretty well. He's like, "Can y'all just fucking leave so I can do some drinking?" This is some bullshit. Were you happy to see Yardley Smith show up?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, Lisa Simpson, Yardley Smith. I met her. I love her. She's a sweetheart.
Oh, awesome. Well, now, when did you meet her?
Actually, I went to a film festival that she was doing a Q&A for. That's where I met her the first time. And she was awesome. Did pictures and talked to her and all that shit. All the fan stuff. And then I was up for, long story short, I was up for a fifth lead in a pretty decent sized movie. And it came down to me and one other guy who is now super famous. Hi. And so that we fought for this role. They ended up giving it to him, but they were like, "Hey, sorry, here's a little bit part in the movie." So I have a really small part in it. And she was a producer on it. So when I was doing the auditions for the big role, I got to audition for her like five.
That's
I think
cool.
It was 5 times. Like
that's. But it must be like so odd hearing that voice coming out of
the
out
laugh.
of her.
It was the
Yeah,
laugh.
exactly.
It was a dark room, and I go in, and there's a round table with, I don't know, maybe 8 people sitting there. And the scene was like a jokey, funny scene. I'm supposed to be the big jovial fucking fat guy, right? And I do the first joke line, and all of a sudden I hear Lisa Simpson laugh. And I was like, I didn't know she was a producer on it at that point.
Oh my God.
Like,
it's like, what was that?
Stay in the moment, stay in the scene. It's like, I keep doing the scene. Yeah, and then at the end, the lights come up, and they're all like, "Thank you." And I'm like, holy shit. It's Lisa Simpson. But yeah, she's in 17 episodes of this. She plays Greg's secretary.
Mm-hmm. Who's basically smarter than Pete.
Marla? I think her name's Marla.
Yeah, but definitely an M name. Yeah, I think it was Marla.
Yeah, she's so funny.
Yeah, Marlene. That was her name.
Marlene, that's right. There's an episode. What the hell was it called? Oh, Love, Honor, and Olay. It's called in season 4.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
And the guest star is Uncle Phil from Fresh Prince.
Oh, geez, really?
He's like the other security guard. And he's trying to train him, but they basically leave Larry in the lobby overnight. And he basically turns into fucking Rambo because he feels like he's being watched all over. And there's all these people breaking in, but there's nobody fucking there. So by the end of it, he's got face paint and fucking spears and shit. He's talking himself up throughout the entire night.
Oh God, it sounds like Will Ferrell, like one of the early bits he did on SNL, where it basically becomes like Lord of the Flies. It's like a morning talk show, like wake up and smile.
There's others, Uncle Phil there and Edward walk in the office in the morning. He goes, "I wonder how Finkelstein did." And he comes running out in a fucking loincloth. Ah! All right.
Oh God! Now, which other ones did you watch for this one? Like,
I watched the first 2 episodes of each season and then the final episode.
yeah, like I watched the first 2 episodes of the series. So thank God in season in episode 2, it started focusing a little more on the parents. So I was like, oh, cool. But yeah, as you said, I think the episodes that focus more on them are the ones that are the funnier episodes.
And truthfully, anytime really the 6 of them are all in a room, it is pretty fun.
Yeah.
The problem is they just don't do it enough.
Right.
I've had these 2 seasons for a while, so I've watched these probably, I don't know, 4 years ago or something. And then the other seasons were never available until they popped up on Hulu within the last couple years.
Yep.
So maybe 6 months ago, I just went and watched seasons 3, 4, 5 all the way through.
Okay.
So revisiting it now is just kind of a little refresher, but
Yeah, and for me, it was like I hadn't watched this in, since it was on in first run. I've never watched this in syndication. It's like I don't even know where it's been.
I don't know if it was. I mean, I never really see it syndicated.
Yeah, so it really was. Oh wow, okay. Since it was first on, yeah, this is Dharma and Greg.
It's a weird show because it tries, and I guess it's kind of baked into the formula, but it tries to like have its cake and eat it too when it comes to things like the political issues or like trans, or because you have Dharma who's the hippie and you have him who's the conservative.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of get away with both sides of it. Like, there was some like gender jokes.
Oh yeah, no, there's definitely things that wouldn't have flown if it was written now.
Well, but so like there was a baby for some reason in one episode, and she's like, "I'm gonna teach the kid that he's not locked into a gender," and Greg's like, "Look in his diaper, he's definitely locked into a gender." You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like jokes like that where you're like, you can play both sides of it,
right?
Which it seems like that would give you a little leeway to get away with a little more, but they never really push it too hard. I feel like they're trying to base your show on this conflict, but the conflict is never really explored as much as I feel like it should be. If that makes sense?
No, I get you. And I think one of the episodes that went into it a little more was actually the episode where, okay, they've been married already, but they decided it's like, oh, maybe we missed something by not dating. So they decided to date, and yeah, it all like goes wrong. It's like their differences start like coming out more.
I think I said it before the show, but the show does have a lot of actually extended storylines. They'll be like half a season long, or there's a lot of 2-parters, a lot of this.
Mm-hmm.
Not all of them are great. I did notice that toward the end of the run, they really tried to go with a lot more drama.
Okay.
Did you see any of the ones like the car accident shit?
No. Yeah, no. That was, I think, end of season 4.
End of season 4.
They go
like,
into season 5. Yeah.
And then I think it was like half of season 5 is like Dharma rehabilitation shit where she's in a wheelchair and.
Yeah, I actually didn't watch it. I didn't watch any of the season 5 episodes.
And it's a lot of like Greg feeling guilty because he was driving and I almost killed her. And it's like, that could be an interesting one episode, but you're a sitcom. I don't want to watch half a season of you feeling bad about almost killing your wife. That's too real for a sitcom.
Yeah, well, you know what? Certain sitcoms were able to juggle the humor aspect and the drama aspect. Like one of the ones, and you said like you're not as familiar with whatever is MASH. You're talking about the Korean War. I'm trying to think of like which like episode I think was like my favorite of the ones that I watched. I think actually season 1 episode 23, Invasion of the Buddy Snatcher, the one I was talking about where Greg is having poker night with his buddies, and while I think he's like in the bathroom, she's like kind of like giving advice to each one of them, and they're like, and it's like, they start calling her, to talk and to give them like more encouragement, more advice, and that. So it's like she's stealing away all his friends.
Yeah, everyone likes her better than him because he's boring.
Right.
Greg's a nice guy, but he is kind of boring.
And then, like I said, like this goes into with him hanging out with Jane and that weird thing. It's like, oh, no one's ever volunteered to be the Watcher. so that was actually like a good one, and that's the one also where I think Abby and Larry are trying to get the ducks out of Kitty and what's his name? So like out of the pool.
The Thomas, what's his name? Thomas Gibson is Greg, and he went on to have quite a career on that. Criminal Minds?
Yeah, he was on Criminal Minds. I think he was also on was it Chicago Hope? I think too. I think that's the one he was on. Yeah, Chicago Hope. He was on
that
for
Criminal
a few
Minds
years.
is that still on? That went on for a long time, didn't it?
No, I think it. Well, I think maybe his thing ended, but like yeah.
Oh, like he left the show?
Yeah, I guess he left the show in 2016. But I think it's still going. I'm not sure.
I wonder why he left the show. Oh wait, was he the one? I think he might have been difficult to work with, right?
Oh, you know what? You may be right about that one.
Oh, I think I do remember hearing something about that where he might have been a little difficult or. Oh,
It's
weird.
Quite possible.
He needed Dharma to calm him down over there.
There we go. You needed the yin to the yang there, which again shows up in the intro there.
For another Chuck Lorre thing, I guess Dharma and Greg show up on season 9 of 2.5 Men.
Yeah, which that the
I guess they're showing the house. Is it after Charlie dies?
I think so. I think season 9 is after Charlie is written off there.
I assumed so, but I've never watched it. If I did watch 2.5 Men, though, I'd have been like, "Oh, that's fun." Was it like a Fresh Prince when they're selling the house and the Jeffersons show up? There was a pretty clear Odd Couple reference, I think.
Oh,
because it looks a lot like the hotel room where he goes in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
To kill himself.
Yeah,
or whatever.
The window.
Yeah. In this one, he walks in and the guy who runs the hotel's behind him, and Greg walks up to the window and he's just kind of looking out, and he goes, the jump won't kill you, you're only on the second floor. And he goes, no, I'm not here to kill myself. And he goes, uh-huh. Like, yeah, okay, buddy. And he's like looking around and he goes, and just so you know, that shower rod won't hold your weight either. And he goes, I'm not here to kill myself. He says something like, is there a phone? Is there a phone here? And he goes, oh, there's a phone down the road, but most people just leave a note. And then he leaves. I was like, this feels like because it even kind of looks like the same seedy hotel room from the movie.
Mm-hmm. Would you say Dharma and Greg is a good show? Decent show? Show you really, was not into? Like, what?
I don't hate it.
Again, it's no 8 Simple Rules.
No.
Thank God.
I think I would gear more toward the side of liking it than disliking it, but it's all about the parents for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Any scene they're not in, I do miss them.
Yeah, I agree, but also I do like some of the antics of Dharma, but not all of it.
I had a quote here. I don't remember. It was out of context, but there was a Larry quote. There's no epidural in a spiritual rebirth. Shit like that. You're like, what? I think Larry is my favorite. Edward's probably my second favorite.
Yeah, no, Larry is my favorite. Like he
almost. Yeah, if you had a show more geared at them, I think I would like it a lot more. But it's a hard one for me to gauge because it's very forgettable as well. Like there's not.
That's I think the problem with the show. It's not like, oh God, remember the episode with the yeah, okay. There's certain things, elements you can remember, but it's not like okay when we watched Raising Hope, it's like the nursing home to get Cloris Leachman out, and like
I've seen every episode of this once now, and then I rewatched the what 10 or 11 that I just watched for
right.
this.
Yeah, and the problem is I think some of the main characters are not strong characters. Hence, Greg, I don't think it's a very strong character. Jane Doe, again, on her own, is not necessarily a very memorable character. It's like you said, until the connection with Pete, then things I think got a lot better, like a lot funnier.
Yeah, Yardley, that we could have used a lot more of her.
Yeah,
She's only in 17 episodes, and
yeah, they definitely could have used more of her. Like like she definitely had like more of a bite, sarcasm.
She spiced up the workplace stuff a little bit.
Yeah,
because at first you just had Greg and Pete doing a lot of workplace scenes, and you're like, I'm bored.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and I'll be honest, like some of the because Pete was the one with the making like suggestive jokes and things like that, and it's like, eh.
I think he was also on Still Standing, which is a show I used to watch. The Mark Addy or whatever his name was. That was another sitcom. The wife was Gertz. What's her name?
Oh, Jamie Gertz
from like the '80s movies. Yeah,
yeah, Jamie Gertz.
She was his wife on there, I think.
Ah,
that's a fun show. I don't know if that's available anywhere though. I've never seen it streaming or reruns or anything. But
I think I've watched like one or two episodes of that one, but like I have no real recollection of anything really about it.
This was an ABC show. There was a funny. I think Edward's bringing something for Abby's new baby or something, and he brings like a Mickey Mouse doll. And Larry's like, we said the baby would have no corporate logos. And he goes, it's Mickey Mouse. I love Mickey Mouse. But it's clearly an ABC show owned by Mickey Mouse. So.
Exactly.
Oh, Disney's got their thumb. Like, show the Mickey doll. Tell them how much you love the fucking Mickey doll. I think I said it before we were recording, right? The final episode, how it ends with a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, shit. It was like... the episode itself wasn't that interesting, but the thing that they set up for the next follow-up season, which they didn't ever get, I think would have been interesting, where they come and give subpoenas to Edward, and they go to the office and give them to Pete for Greg, and they're going to be subpoenaed for like insider trading. They're being investigated. So I was like, oh, that could be fun, but. Then they were canceled. I saw an interview with Jenna Elfman. They were asking her about a reboot. Is there going to be a reboot? And she said there's nothing official about it. But she talked about how the show was canceled. They thought they were coming back, and then boom, they were canceled. 5 seasons. I mean, it's okay. It's not the best show. It's not the worst show. It's kind of like last week's. I would say it's a little better than last week's. Not much, but a little bit.
A little better than Head of the Class. Yeah, as we were discussing, I didn't even know like the hatred that Howard Hessman had for that show. But yeah, it's definitely like kind of like in the lower echelon of what we've watched so far.
I would say if you find maybe the list that he saw, the top 10. I don't think you need to watch all of it, but if you want to watch the top 10 best episodes, it's probably fine. You'd probably enjoy it.
And although I will also say I had some issue with what they said was the number 1 episode. I was like, oh, it was good, but it wasn't laugh out loud. Like best. It's the one where Dharma learns about football and becomes like a huge 49ers fan and like makes a giant hat with the Golden Gate Bridge and like basically like totally fanatical. It's like, okay, yeah, that's it's funny, but yeah.
It sounds like some fucking Dharma antics in this,
It's definitely a Dharma antic. Like, put it this way, comparing it to, say, Seinfeld with, remember, Putty, when in
yeah.
hockey the Rangers and Devils
Yeah.
are playing, and he's
They're all wearing
dressed up
letters.
in the face paint and that, and he's banging on the thing where the priest, like the car with the priest, is like, the devil's gonna get you.
It's also, this is a hard show to just jump into, and I can see why this probably didn't do well in syndication because of the season-long storylines.
Yeah,
This is just a couple on a sitcom.
yeah.
You shouldn't have to watch a whole fucking season to understand. You know what I mean?
What's going
This
on
should be
and-
something. This should be something you can jump in and jump out of. I feel like.
Good, not great. Yeah, it's is it better than, like you said last week, Head of the Class? Yeah, I would put it above Head of the Class. I'd put it above, like, again, how you were saying, I think it was more the nostalgia factor with Full House. I think I'd put this over Full House too, but yeah, it's...
Yeah, see, that's the hard part when you're gauging this, is like what you like better versus what you know is good. And I've been doing that more
Yeah.
with movies, because like I enjoy watching Friday the 13th movies. I would never say they're good.
Oh yeah. Well, I think
You know what I mean?
I think I told you. I'm not sure if it was you or I told my friend Pete that I actually, for Halloween, I watched. I was like, oh, you know what? Let's watch the original Friday the 13th. And it's like, it was interesting. Some of the effects by what's his name?
Tom Savini.
Tom Savini. Thank you. Like, yeah, so some of those things were cool. Like, but. Yeah, was it like a great movie? No, it was a low budget thing that made a bunch of money. It's like, oh.
Well, it's one of those, like, I can tell someone about, like, oh, I went and saw the new Scream and this and that and then that, and I talk about it with excitement because I there's some level I enjoyed it,
Yeah.
but then they inevitably always go, so it was really good, and I go, no, I didn't say that. Like.
But
I
it's
can
like,
talk about it emphatically and be excited about it and enjoy watching it, but I can also be like, it wasn't great.
yeah, is it a good movie? Not necessarily a good movie,
Right.
but yeah, I enjoyed
I
it.
had fun watching it, but I wouldn't say it's a good movie. So
Yeah. Well, you
that's
know
the same thing with some of these shows that I have kind of like,
I can
which
see
is
that.
why I think when we do our list, we're
Yeah.
gonna have to decide.
Yeah,
Are we
criteria.
saying? Are we gonna say like, this is the ranking based on what I think is the best show, or which shows I like the best?
And I think we're gonna have to basically have a couple of lists. What one step saying that, oh, this is a good show or a great show, versus, you know what, this is a show I grew up with. Like for me, it was like The Odd Couple. I grew up with that.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't as into that one, so it's like, oh, okay, yeah, like I would probably rank it a little higher, but like, okay, was it a good show? That's the question.
Yeah, and it's a completely different. My list would be insanely different based on those two wordings of a question.
Right.
So just remember that when you're listening to the show and we're talking about these things, because it's hard to go. I mean, it ran for 5 seasons. To somebody, it was good.
Yeah, and
It was probably great to somebody.
And that's the thing. Like, some of the things we're talking, like, they may sound more critical, but it's just from a taste perspective of, like, us. Like, okay, was it good? Yeah, it was a good show. Was it a great show? No, but was it something like you and I were into? But if you do enjoy this show, please like, subscribe. If you want to check out JJ's Twitch feed, it is BidwellFog. Twitch.tv/BidwellFog. I'm Twitch.tv/NetNick191. Hit us up on Twitter. Hit us up on Gmail. Just hit us up, damn it.
I've been sitting on my hand this whole show so I can get those different strokes from a stranger.
Oh, God. And on that note, I guess I've been Nick Franco.
I've been Jay Bidwell.
And we hope you will
Sitcom my face.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Bye.